Javed is a co-founder of Race Equality Matters and the founder of the Collaboratory. He's over 20 years experience in enacting social change through various charities, community organisations and social development initiatives. He is an old school campaigner. His focus has been on collaborations and creating, implementing solutions. Probably the most famous one he's been involved with, and the one that I first came into contact with him is around the Green Ribbon campaign for mental health and City Giving Day. Javed is passionate about making a greater impact on people's lives. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank him for all the hard work he's done getting us to where we are today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Okay, so next slide, please. So we've got Race Equality Matters, and the key thing that I'm going to say half of it is a race equality network, and that is a mixture. There's key constituents are current race network leads of organisations, but also the future leads for the race networks. What we're looking to do is to provide them with the skill, the support and the development that they need to thrive in that role, but also to help them progress in their careers. Because far too often, the individuals that are part of these groups or leading these groups are put in a position or not given the support they need. So we're going to be providing some training and support for that, which is going to be free. Also in the network are other colleagues, ethnic minority colleagues and allies. This network, I think Raj said earlier, we're going to look to try and get it up to 1 million people. And can you imagine in companies and organizations across the country, what difference that will make? What we've also done through our research and the findings was we were very surprised that there isn't something, we've had Black Lives Matter and we've got Black History Month, but there is nothing for race in totality. So we've created the concept of Race Equality Week. I've spoken to many people, they Googled it, thinking it existed. We do not have Race Equality Week in the UK, so it's a chance to unite. Next slide, please. Next slide. So the key thing about it is it's not going to be a tick box exercise. It's not people say we're doing it. It's going to have meaningful action. So we've got a date for everyone's diary, the 1st to 7th of February, 2021. So there's plenty of time for organizations to have it in a diary. And we believe it can be as successful and as big as Black History Month. We've got Mental Health Awareness Week. At the moment, in October, it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In March, we've got International Women's Day. We need something for Race Equality Week. But as well as putting that up there, what we're offering or creating is some activities and solutions that will make a difference, which we'll go through. So one of them is a pin badge campaign, and it's going to be digital badge campaign. So we've seen the impact the green ribbons had. We know the difference the daffodil makes, or the pink ribbon for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's having this visible show of support. So you'll hear from us in due course about how your organization get into it. And we've seen, like, during Pride, during month of Pride, you know, people using the rainbow through all their social media and everything. So this is a chance just for the country to see everyone's part of Race Equality Week. Next slide, please. So another thing that we've looked at from our research is the voice of ethnic minority employees in companies. Raj pointed out that the networks typically do not have any power or influence to create change in that organization. It's at the top. We spoke to a number of people who they get annual staff surveys, and it says, how can we be more inclusive? They put their point down. A year later, nothing's changed. How can we be more inclusive? They put a point down, nothing changed. So people aren't listened to. Again, people are concerned when they raise their voice or their concerns that they're seen as trouble, etc. So what we've created in collaboration with Mental Health First Aid is something called Safe Space, which is in 3 parts. The principle is 3 to 5 C-suite board senior leaders get together with 10 ethnic minority colleagues, different backgrounds, different departments, different ages, etc. And it's a Chatham House rules concept. It's in 3 parts. The first part is what I call Education Light, where the C-suite, who are going to typically be non-ethnic minorities, can ask questions that outside this room, they may be deemed as being ignorant or could be at risk of racism. I know a conversation at the moment that people, is quite a hot topic, is about BAME, the term BAME. Can we call you BAME? What's the problem with the term BAME? So in this room, it can be addressed by 10 different individuals who can share their thoughts and experience about the term BAME and other questions. So I call it Education Light. The second part of Safe Space is where the ethnic minority colleagues are the voice or the spokespeople for the rest of their organisation. And they would have already found out what are the key race inequality issues in that respective organisation. So things we've heard so far include that we do really well at ground level. We get 15 to 20% of ethnic minority come in through the door, but after that only 1% get promoted. Or we do really well at ground level, but after that the majority of people, many black women leave within 6 months. Or microaggressions are quite common here, but they're not addressed. So every organisation will have its own thing. I'm sure there's some common, but this is a chance for these points to be put across in this safe space. But the important thing and the point of difference here, that's not the end of it. The C-suite of the board then go away and then come back in a month's time and report back, say, you gave us 5 key issues here. We're going to tackle issue number 1 and number 3 with you. I think we can tackle number 1 in 3 months and issue number 3 we could tackle in 12 months, but we're going to do it in collaboration. We're not going to give it to you, we're not going to give it to HR, we're going to do it together. So the first time ethnic minority colleagues in organisation are being heard, but actions being taken, and as Baroness Morrissey said, those in power, the ally, can make it happen. So that's safe space. Next slide. Next slide. So Dr. Carl's going to speak a bit later from the Governance Forum about all the charters and the research he's done. So this sort of reflects about all the charters that are out there at the moment, but also it's about the PR gesturing and the virtue signalling that's been happening back in the summer. From our research, as Ra said, the majority of ethnic minority colleagues have been quite upset and offended by the comments or the virtue signaling coming zone. We must do more. Black Lives Matter. 4 months later, what's changed? Nothing. So the idea, the big promise, is it's in 4 parts. We've identified promises. Ethnic minority colleagues have helped collaborate with us to say, if anyone makes these promises, it will make a difference. There's a set of what we call a magnificent 7 promises for C-suite. So there's 7 promises there. If they make one of these promises, can we see one actually? Yeah. So there's 7 there. So the idea is the C-suite to look at them, tick a box, show it to camera, social media. It goes back to the transparency and accountability that Raj shares. The next, there's 7 different promises for senior leaders. There's a set of 7 promises for allies, and there's a set of 7 promises for ethnic minority colleagues. All these have been pulled together through working with Dr. Carl and looking at the charters, so they exist out there, but also it's promises that ethnic minority colleagues say, if someone ticks one of these boxes, it will make a difference. But because they've ticked the box, and it's more than a tick boxing exercise, we can then review 3 months, 6 months later, you tick this box, what difference has been made. So again, we're giving a tool or something for organizations to do. So that's 3 things organizations can do during Race Equality Week. There's the easy entry point, the digital pin, there's safe space, and there's the big promise. But the 4th thing is we know lots of organizations are starting to look at race inequality. So if they've got plans or they want to do something, do it then. The idea is to have hundreds, if not thousands, of organizations across the UK united and tackling race inequality during that week. We have more plans for that week, which we'll share with you, but these are just some of the plans. We also have another and another thing we got from people is not just to put it out there, we're creating, and this is a draft, how to do it right guide. So again, this has been pulled together with people that will run Safe Space. So it's a guide how to, that's been done in partnership with Mental Health First Aid, because we know Safe Space can be emotionally and mentally draining for many people, but how to get it right. So the project lead for Organisation X will be given one of these. We also will be holding how to do it right workshops. So we'll have 50 to 100 people joining us. Again, all this is free, where we will show how to do this. We also have another 9 concepts in the pipeline, which we'll be rolling out beyond Race Equality Week. But what we just want is many of you organisations to sign up to Race Equality Week, commit to at least one of these, or tell us what you're doing. So as I said, it's all about action, less about words, and we're providing the solutions and we're helping you do this. Raj will touch it later. We're doing all this for free. So any funders that can support us to enable us to keep it for free for everyone, because we don't want any excuses, will be fantastic. Thank you.